7 Raid Shadow Legends tips that I wish I had known before I started my account. Not knowing these things can almost completely ruin your account, and it's really important to know these things. And yes, the first one being not farming this 12-3 mission. Now, everyone says online, farming it is the most efficient use of your energy to get silver and, most importantly, farm up your champ. Whether you're trying to get food champs to go for level 60 or whatever it may be, this is the level, especially on hard and brutal, right? Now, I've got a reason why this, especially in the early game, is a really bad idea, and I'll get into that. But first, let's quickly jump to my second tip, which actually is perhaps more important: not using affiliate codes and starter welcome gifts. Now, if you use my code above my head, you'll get a couple free champions, and I'll get into a minute about what they are. But not using an affiliate link like the one here is going to cost you a lot, because if you start this game just with a basic starter champion, you don't get any bonus champions like legendary or epic champions. You're going to have to get really lucky to get the kind of champions you need to have a nice strong starter squad. You need a good healer, and you need a good strong legendary champion to really get ahead, and without that you're going to be stuck waiting, trying to get lucky for a long time. So my QR code will get you UUGO straight away, who's probably one of the best healers in the game, which is going to be really, really good for arena, really good for clan bosses, and it's going to help you through it like from the beginning all the way to the end game, and you'll get them as soon as you start your account using my QR code. Now, at level 15, you'll also get RECTOR DRATH, which is another really, really good healer. And if you use code MonkeyKing within 24 hours of making your account in the promo code section, you will get Sun Wukong, an extremely versatile and strong legendary character. Not only that, there's a 14-day chase event right now. If you log in for just 7 days, you'll get Alice the Wanderer, 7 days more, and you will get a perfect soul for her. She's a really good legendary champion as well. So you got 4 really good champions by using my QR code and using the promos that are currently available in game. And you can also click the link in the description. It's an easier way to do it. This is going to set you up for so much better things. Like, you could play for hours every day and not get lucky enough to get a good set of characters, and this set really is amazing. And honestly, it's the ones that I use. I did not use a starter link though, and I had to get lucky to get a good healer. Thankfully I did get one, but if I didn't, I'll be in a really bad state right now. So definitely use promo codes. All right, let's go back to my first point: not farming 12-3. Now, this mission is notorious in a way, infamous for being the best, most efficient way of farming in this game, because the energy cost is pretty low. You farm shields, you get shield drops from this, and shields are going to give you the most amount of silver per item. And you get a decent amount of experience as well. So it's a great, efficient way of farming silver and farming XP. Both of those things are absolutely true. But if you spend that big boost of early game energy that you get focusing on getting your champion all of the way to level 60, you're going to run out of energy and realize you don't have any good gear. You don't have the right artifacts. You don't have the right gear and the right stats on the gear to create a good champion anyway. Like, you have that level 60 there, and you're still running some pretty bad gear. Now, there are some decent starter gear sets that you do get as a new player, and that can carry you for most of the game. But what about when you need to get better gear than that, or you want to start getting gear for your other champions? Suddenly, you don't have the gear you need, and now you need to go and farm that gear again, and you've already got your character to level 60 at this point, and it's like, oh, now I'm wasting energy farming, and you can farm more food whilst you're doing it. But the more efficient way, in my opinion, would have been for me to do dungeons and focus on farming gear and getting the stats I need. We're going to be a little bit less efficient on our energy usage when it comes to farming silver and farming experience with this method, but it also means we have the chance of rolling some pretty decent gear that we can then use for our champions, right? We really want to go for those speed boots. We really want to get critical percent up. We want to get critical damage up, and even just attack. These, like, as primary stats are so important, and it's going to take a lot of re-rolling dungeons to get lucky, to get the gear that you need to kit out your whole team. Like, sure, the early game sets will be good for one champion, maybe 2, but you're going to need like 4 or 5 champions fully kitted out to be able to do good in clan bosses, in arenas, and because you wasted all of your early game silver farming food champs to get your first champ to level 60, you're kind of missing out on the gear. So if I could do my account again, I would definitely not do 12-3. I wouldn't rush all the way to 12-3 hard as soon as I can. I would take a bit more time doing some dungeons as well so I can actually get some decent gear. The next thing I wish I had known at the start of the game is not focusing my missions as well whilst I'm playing. Now, a lot of the missions are really easy to do, but you need to complete missions before it to be able to complete it. So what I did is, as a new player, I watched some videos online. I realized that I want to try and get my Kale to level 60, right? So I farmed all the way through the campaign, then farmed all the way through hard campaign so that I was ready to be in the situation to get him to level 60 and farm food champs and do that kind of thing, right? But by doing that, I missed out on completing a bunch of missions that I could have done along the way. A lot of these missions are pretty straightforward things, like completing some of the early campaign levels just a few times, or getting a certain set of gear rewards from those same campaign missions. Those things that I was doing anyway could not have been completed because I didn't pay attention to the early missions that I had to complete first. So as you're playing, just take a look through your missions on your first week or two of playing and see if there are any extra missions that you can do alongside what you're focusing on, because spending a little bit of extra energy here and there to do those missions is going to help you progress through the game a lot faster, because otherwise what will happen is you'll get all of the way to campaign 12-3, right? You'll be building up your first champion to level 60, and then you'll be like, right, now I'm going to go and do my missions and get some more rewards, and you're like, oh, there's all these missions which require tasks that I've already done in the past that I missed out on, and now I've got to go and do them again. The next thing is the most simple thing anyone can do as a raid player. It's literally not opening the game every day. The rewards you get for the daily login rewards are amazing, and each day you log in, you get closer and closer to better and better rewards. And if you don't remember to log in, you're missing out. You're slowing down your progress towards those better rewards massively. And it's really as simple as just opening the game on your phone and tapping a button, and you get progress towards those extra daily rewards, right? The daily rewards for day 30, day 90, day 120, they're really, really great. The next big thing is not checking the stats on my artifacts before selling them. When I first started this game, I understood that farming silver was important, so I would kind of farm a bunch of artifacts and then just tap sell on everything that had a lower star rating. And later I realized, oh, some of those artifacts and equipment could have had good primary stats. They could have had extra stats that would have been good. And I've just went and sold all of them without really checking. And once you get a bunch of items, it becomes difficult to kind of track where your items are, right? And it gets really confusing. But what you can do is if you go to your champions and then you click on your items, you can filter, right? And you can go priority stats. So let's say I want critical rate. I really care about that. Critical damage percent up. I really like speed. That puts all of the things of speed, critical rate, and critical damage up to the front. So now I can go here and be very confident these aren't going to have the stats I need. I can go and sell the items at the back of the list and not worry about this, for example, with critical damage 10% on these epic gloves. You know, I ended up selling a lot of this gear early game and didn't realize how much it wasted my progress, because farming a specific item like this can be so time consuming. But if you want to go and say sell this item, it's only worth 20,000 silver. A quick misclick could waste you hours of progress. The next Raid Shadow Legends tip that I wish I had known sooner, and I'm still suffering from because I didn't know, is not keeping enough champions available that I can use in Faction Wars. So Faction Wars can be a really good way to get a lot of rewards, and I haven't had any progress in Faction Wars because look, for example, right now we've got the Ogren Tribe Crypt open. I don't have any Ogren Tribe champions. I have this guy, level 1. I've been focusing so much on getting my main champion squad up to level 50 and 60, and, you know, we're making good progress there. But as a result, I don't have any sort of mid-tier champions that I can put into Faction Wars. So I would just say, try and build up a small selection of champions that have okay gear at okay levels so that you can at least make some progress on these things. Like, this is not a hard start, you know. Stage 1 is not hard, and I could at least get like a little bit of rewards. I could get rare materials, I could get glyphs, but because I don't have the champions to do it, I can't. Now I've got to go and try and start again with, you know, using my ancient shards and my mystery shards to try and get some champions so I can actually make progress on faction wars, which feels rough considering I've been playing the game for, I don't know how many days, like 40, 45 days or something at this point. So a nice tip, just don't always destroy all of your champions and don't turn them all into food, because building up a nice selection of different factions is going to really help. There we have it. A look at some of the biggest tips that I wish I had known before I started. And if you're about to start, definitely keep these things in mind. Make sure to use my QR code or the link in the description to get a nice head start with UUGO, RECTOR DRATH. You can also get Sun Wukong with the code Monkey King, and even Alice the Wanderer with the 14-day Alice Chase event. So go check all that out, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!